Hello, dear colleagues and partners. I am Alina Maslova, and I will be moderating our talk today. Welcome to the second day of online conference networking High Sustainable World. Yesterday we knew that the supporting professional communities like fair trades and the developers of products from upcycle waste increases the sustainability market in general, helps to create something original, more beautiful, and also scale the business. Today, we will have a talk about online and offline sustainable communities and the new social behavior. Now, let's talk with Sarah Rhodes. How creating of local communities can improve understanding of plastic-free life cycle. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Alina. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. Communities is such an important topic and something that I think has become even more strongly recognized, I think, in the last couple of years, just how important this is. I do have some slides, so I'd love to share my screen.
Countries today are with us. It's very interesting. It's like Cambodia. So nice. It's the USA. Today is 9 p.m. here, and Phoebe, he's from Indonesia. That's nice. And Lida, where are you from? It's interesting. I'm curious.
I'm from Phnom Penh, Cambodia.
So, I don't hear you well. Sorry. Can you say it again?
Do you hear me? It's clearly now.
Yeah.
I'm from Cambodia, Phnom Penh. I actually in the same city with Sarah now.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah. We can see your presentation and we will hear it with pleasure. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Yes, it's great to see you as well, Lida. It was nice to see you in person the other day as well, where we hosted, and I will be talking about, the sustainability chats as part of this community presentation. However, to begin with, a little bit about Plastic Free Southeast Asia. So this is a business that I founded in 2015. At the time, I was living in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And plastic was starting to get on my radar, and some things that I'd done were like really making me think about, my consumption, how the world is using plastic, and how could I share that with others. And it turns out there was quite a big interest in it. So what started off as a community event centered around Plastic Free July, so the 1-month campaign that was started by Plastic Free July in Australia, not by me, as many people think that I did, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice, but by some other amazing people, turned into what became a lot of it, well, very much community founded, but working with businesses as well. And so the big part of what Plastic Free Southeast Asia do is we work with businesses to help their teams come along the sustainability journey. And in a sense, business teams are a community of their own. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we go through. So I am now spending my time in between Southeast Asia and Australia, my home country. Australia have a lot of work to do as well in the environmental space when it comes to single-use plastics, when it comes to sustainable tourism, and so many other elements of sustainability. So I feel very strongly to be able to continue the work that I began in Southeast Asia, but also make sure that my home country are accountable and working on that vision as well. Oopsies. And also just want to tie it into the Sustainable Development Goals. The UN SDGs are a bit of a roadmap that we can use with a goal of reaching these 17 incredible goals by 2030. And one of those is sustainable cities and sustainable communities. And I think that we really need this to be able to do that. And it's the sustainable cities and communities, yes, it encompasses geography. But as I just mentioned, it also can be across industries. So my background is in tourism. So the tourism industry is one of the communities that I aim to serve. And also when we're in business teams. So the businesses I work with, I aim to cultivate that community within their teams and also their locations. So yeah, communities everywhere. So what is it? So I want to share a few examples of how I've seen this play out effectively. Events for a common purpose. So something that we see around the world are these amazing teams of people getting out, getting together, maybe doing a cleanup event, or maybe doing a clothing swap, or all sorts of things that bring awareness to environmental sustainability. And when we unite together, in the case of this photograph as a business team, but in many cases just as like-minded people, then we find our common purpose and we find our sense of belonging and our sense of community in taking those actions. And then it inspires us to do more. I often host community workshops and attend community workshops because, again, it's a way to connect for a common interest, to meet new people, to work out problems, discuss problems, and come up with solutions together in the community. And in the case of this photograph, this was a community workshop on, I believe it was on like embracing imperfection, because something that comes up a lot of the time in this space is, oh, I need to be like 100% plastic free. Okay, 100% plastic free is really hard to achieve. And if we're only focused on that, then I think we get a little bit stuck. So how can we not be trapped by it needs to be everything or nothing? We see a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, that's your thing, Sarah, you know, good for you, well done, thank you. But they don't want to start because they feel like maybe they're not good enough, but they are, because it doesn't have to be everything. Like, they don't have to quit their day job and go and start a business like I did. You can just do small things that are accessible to you. So I think, you know, talking about that as a community and introducing people to new ideas together is super powerful. And this has been, you know, one of my favorite things. Is certainly how we met Alina, is how we met Feby, is through sustainability chats. So around a year ago, I started hosting online and in-person sustainability meetups where we can get together and share ideas, talk about problems, connect with one another. And it's amazing. So this photograph is actually from Saturday, where I hosted an in-person sustainability chat in Phnom Penh. Twice a month, I hold them online. It's a beautiful blend of different people, and it's just so cool to see different connections spark. And I know, Alina, that, you know, you've brought a lot of value to the community in this sense. And, you know, you've met some great people, and some great people have met you and other people, that everyone that's working in this space. It's remarkable just to see how this can spread ideas and inspiration. And definitely, I think, you know, some of us who care so very passionately about this find that the sustainability chats provide some reassurance as well. Because sometimes when you're going on your own path and maybe it feels like your geographical community don't understand, you know, how do you find a community outside of that to help you realize, okay, yes, like actually what I believe and what I feel strongly about, other people do too, and I can find them and meet with them, and, you know, and keep going on sharing this vision and mission and change that we need to see in the world. And places. So some of the speakers from yesterday would be familiar with places. This is a photograph of my co-working community in Sydney, in Australia. So I'm not there at the moment, but they're in my heart all the time. And we continue to meet online as well. Your place might not be a co-working space. It might be your local cafe. The place where we held the sustainability chat on the weekend is a new eco-friendly hub for businesses that are creating eco-friendly products. So, you know, places where these ideas come together are super important. Where we connect, which cafe is the most eco-friendly cafe in the neighborhood? Like, can that be our hub where we meet other people who are like-minded? Or in this case, yeah, the co-working space, which honestly, they've become my work family, something that I miss as a solo entrepreneur, you know, really brought me in and made me feel like I belong to something, like a bigger thing than just myself, which is amazing. And volunteering. So volunteering is another way to connect and make an impact and feel like you've got a team. So this picture is not an event that I volunteered at, but the UN Association of Australia is a place where I volunteer and where I find other people who are working towards something bigger. I have also been very fortunate to have many volunteers join Plastic Free Southeast Asia over the years in different capacities, helping different things. And, you know, they're still part of the Plastic Free Southeast Asia family. So that's quite beautiful as well. So accepting volunteers or volunteering your own time is another way to find your people, find your community. Okay, so Alina, you asked me some questions and I have done my best to incorporate some answers I hope everyone will find helpful. So why is community an effective strategy? So I hope I can share the sound on this. My client and friend, Tony, who's the general manager of Treeline Urban Resort in Siem Reap, sums it up like just so beautifully. I thought I'm just going to borrow her words and share that with you. So fingers crossed that we can share the sound on that. That's always the interesting element of this. So fingers crossed. Hang on, just need the little pop-up to disappear so that I can
I think yeah,
get the play button.
Yeah, it will work. Yeah. So we can see.
Here. You can see, but you can't hear, right?
Yeah, I can't hear.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can share computer sound. Okay. No, we should be okay.
Feel heard and valued and part of something, that their opinion matters, they buy into it. Not just, there's 2 points to education, not just educating others, but educating ourselves. And again, that comes with talking to the community and your teams and finding out, why do people litter? We can't just tell them, don't litter or don't use plastic. You know, why are they so dependent on plastic? We have to come up with solutions, not just tell them, don't do it. We have to talk and come up with solutions. So yeah, challenges for us with implementing all of this. Our biggest challenge was with suppliers, because once we could control what's in our walls, but it was difficult when we're getting produce and things delivered and it's wrapped in plastic, and so that was really challenging, because we weren't just becoming plastic-free front of house for the guests. We were going the full hog, like back of house operations, which in a big hotel with kitchen departments or 10 different departments, there's a lot. It's a really big big project, and that's where Sarah was able to help us hugely. And so one of the surprises for me in doing all of this is just how, I don't want to say easy because it wasn't easy, it was a long process, but I was thinking that the biggest challenge was going to be changing the mindset of the team, but it wasn't. Sarah came in and did training with us, the first training that she did with us. And how much they bought into it after that, I wasn't in the first session, and I caught up with them and Sarah afterwards, and it was just phenomenal how much they bought in and how much they took it all on board. But in the back of my mind, I was a bit pessimistic, and I was thinking they're just saying this to pacify me and because it's what I want to hear. But they weren't. And then Sarah said to me after those first trainings, she said, oh, I'll be back in, I think it was 8 weeks, to do a follow-up audit. And all of a sudden I was like, oh God, this is a lot bigger than what, what I had anticipated. And how am I going to make this happen in 8 weeks? You know, like being the perfectionist I am, I was like, we have to get rid of everything. Everything has to be perfect when she comes back to do this audit in 8 weeks. And yeah, I was just like, we're going to fail. This is not going to be good. But within the first week or two after that first training, my team took the ball and ran with it and didn't stop. So it didn't stop at eliminating plastic. It became, we were composting. We were, you know, we weren't able to find a lot of the things that we needed, whether it be bin liners or, you know, when we were trying to get our bamboo amenities, you know, we were finding them, but they'd still all arrive in plastic. And we couldn't find certain baskets and things. So we started making them ourselves. We made all our takeaway food containers, all our carry baskets for guests, all our linen bags, all of it. So yeah, they just did such a phenomenal job. And again, this goes back to getting them to buy into it and empowering them. And yeah, they just took it and ran with it. And I was so incredibly proud and really excited to have Sarah come back and do the audit and show off what the team have been able to do.
Okay, so that's one example of it, a team community. And one of my favorite stories after this is Joni sent me photographs, one of the big holidays in Cambodia that the team had organized together, a picnic. And they had, you know, made sure that the picnic was entirely plastic free. So they'd taken baskets, you know, food that was wrapped in leaves and, you know, things that they brought in Tupperware from their own homes. And that's not something that's very common to see in Cambodia. It's very easy and accessible just to buy food from, you know, vendors, and they will wrap it in plastic. So they thought about it, and then they took it, you know, out into their social world as well as just in the business world. So you know, bringing people together, giving them a voice, and letting them know you're part of this, like you're part of this community, is just, yeah, is so powerful. Okay, and you also asked me, Alina, what is difficult? And this is really a follow-up from that last point, but what is difficult is like getting everybody going in the same direction. So I'm using this photograph here of some people rowing a boat. Like if you can imagine that, you know, half of those people were rowing in the other direction, or maybe someone's not holding their paddle and they're just kind of hanging out there, it's going to be a lot harder. So what I find difficult is the urgency, or is sometimes people thinking they have to take the whole world on their own shoulders by themselves, and they try to do it by themselves alone. I have to do this, and that's a great starting point. But you need a team. You need some people in your boat so that you can paddle together and all head towards the same goal. And that, I think, is what community is about. Is you know, really like, yeah, getting people in your boat going in the same direction. And it's not always easy. And you know, what is difficult, I find, in this space is urgency. We have a huge amount of urgency, but urgency can be scary, and it can make people feel like it's too big for them to do. So then they prefer to do nothing. They prefer to stick with what they know. Or, you know, one person in a business community might be thinking, well, I've got to do this. I'm the sustainability officer. I have to do this by myself. And that's hard, because then it's like you're trying to paddle the boat on your own, instead of getting your teammates to jump in and help with the paddling. And I think this comes down to communication. Again, giving everybody a voice gets the buy-in, and then communicating clearly what the direction is, means then, okay, all right, we all know what we're doing now. We all know why we want to sail in this direction. You know, and now let's put our energy in it and get the paddles out and like, yeah, work together as a team, as a community. So yes, that's certainly what I find difficult. And then what is success? Again, it's probably all very tied in together, but it is sitting down and working out the problems together, and bringing ideas and trying things. And sometimes the first thing you try is not going to work, but it is really about going in and doing it anyway, and doing it together. Yeah. And then that, to me, is absolutely what success is, like bringing people together, having discussions, examining difficulties. Don't just going, oh, you know, working with suppliers is hard, or, oh, my local coffee shop, they always give me the plastic cup. But actually, you know, having those conversations, you may be chatting to your local coffee shop and saying, hey, you know, I come here every day or twice a week or whatever. Can you help me? I'm really trying to do better at this and I need your help. And bring them in, they're helping you, rather than trying to say, oh, why did you give me a straw again? You know, those kind of conversations. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that there's been, you know, some little pieces in there that will help you find your community, and something to be part of, you know, whether that's through volunteering, whether it's through joining different events in your area, whether it's through hosting different events in your own area, because that can be really amazing as well, and bring people in to you to be the point of contact. Get my button to work. Sorry, sometimes it's disappearing. Yeah, I would just like to open up if there's any questions right now, and I hope that I'm sticking to the schedule as well.
Thank you, Sarah. It was amazing. I had a question, but you were preventive and you already answered. Yeah. And maybe somebody in the auditory have any questions. We will hear it with pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Phoebe. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, Sarah. How are you today?
Oh, thank you. I'm well. I'm well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a nice community around me, and that feels great.
I want to say
supportive.
Yeah, because as you say before, it's really important to join the group and talk, because as I told you before, I'm really depressed and I don't even want to talk with people. I don't want to even see people. But you encourage me to talk with you, and that's really make me believe that I can do this. You know, like yes. And then I don't even think that my life is what was going on in my life, but I have to do this because you are so encourage me to start to talking, it's okay being wrong, it's okay being screwed up your life, you know, like that. And then I think as
we've been there before, I've been there.
The community is really important, and that's it for me and everybody. That's it for me, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you, Phoebe. It's so great to see you here and see you smiling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great, actually.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So good.
And how about all you guys, Kat and Linda? How are you today?
Yes, thank you.
Good?
Thank you. I'm amazing. Moreover, I prepare a very nice cartoon we can watch after our next talk, because its cartoon is very close to what Sarah said. Because when I saw it, I thought about Sarah, about you, what you do, and I would like to, yes, I would like to show you guys. It's amazing. But before we start with the cartoon, we have an amazing talk, an international conversation right now with Philippines. And
Right.
Okay.
yes, that's great. And let me read some short
Before you
preview. Yeah, sure.
Before you do, can I just share? I have like sort of some parting words.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
For
Yeah,
after
go
the
ahead.
question.
Sure.
Sorry. So firstly, if you want to find out about this, the online sustainability chat, then you can let me know, and I will be able to share emails and invite you to different things that are going on, and my contact details if you want to take a screen capture or a photo. And finally, button to work, I just want to say, we are stronger together. So, find your community, find your people, and good luck. And if there's anything I can do to help, of course, please, I'm happy to.
Thank you.